Well, hey Aquarius, how about a reading on this third weekend of the month, which is fixed signs, and that is you. I've done the other three fixed signs, very interesting messages. Let's see what's going on for you. Your energy feels low, almost stuck. Compared to what I've been feeling in the other readings. But let's see what's going on here. We're going to do a reading here about where you are now, what sort of divine or cosmic presence is around you, and let's see what's hidden from you, what the tarot wants you to know, and then fourthly, any advice to help you through this situation or any advice. The Taurus reading was really positive. The Leo and Scorpio readings were tough, especially the Scorpio. And let's see what's going on with you, Aquarius. So we're going to pull from the Tarot of the Wild Unknown. My very first deck. I call it my sweetheart deck. I wanted to talk with you. So we'll get an overall feeling of this, and then we'll pull a spread and clarify. And then we have a message from another otherworldly being that we will pull for last. Okay, wonderful. So you have some kind of a vision that is coming into reality. This is the Three of Wands. You manifested something. You can see it there. It's a beautiful idea. And what happens here is you are waiting. You're looking out over the sea often, waiting for the ships to come in that you've wished for. So that's awesome. Ah, good. Ascension. This is you moving up out of the darkness, just rising above to the next level of life. You've completed something. So it's a pretty big vision that you have right now, Aquarius. It's awesome. Let's find out more. Okay. I'm going to start here with the Guardian of the Night. I have already shuffled these, but it always feels right to keep shuffling until, I don't know, it feels right. Okay, I'm seeing the Eight of Swords and a Knight of Cups here. All right, splitting the deck. Yeah, I definitely feel like something low here, but there's a lot of expectation in the reading here. So you are currently in an Ace of Wands. You have an idea. It is the beginning. It is a way of exerting your will. It's a great new beginning. It's also, well, this is a deck set in the night. This night is lit up by fireflies. We can see the spider has climbed up this wand to the moon. Has made a little web here that is catching the light of the fireflies, and that there's night blooming lilies that appear in many of these cards in this deck are just, yeah. I also, wow, I've never noticed the clouds are coming over this city. You can see those are clouds at the top. So it's like the tops of the buildings are disappearing into the clouds. It's like rain is imminent in a way, like a spring night here. We don't get spring rain so much here as summer rains in Flagstaff where I live. But let's keep looking. All right, the divine presence in your life, Aquarius. Justice. Awesome. This is a very powerful bat standing on the sword of truth. Really powerful. You want justice. Justice is either what drives you, what guides you, or something that is with you. It's on your side right now. That's really good. We'll keep pulling here. What's hidden from you that the tarot wants you to know? Eight of Wands. This is a card of action and communication. It could mean there's some action that you need to take or some communication you need to do, or there's something coming in. And the snake here appears in this deck in the card of Judgment, which is this card here. So this seems to be important to this ascension that you've manifested, like this moving on is what comes into my mind. But it's like from the place that you like, look at these two cards, like the two birds, right? Like this one's rising. This one seems to be coming down, but they're very similar, related cards. Even though this is just an Eight of Wands, maybe we'll see the Judgment card in this deck, but take my word for it. It looks a lot like it has the snake in it. You shed your old skin and rise, a new, bigger snake, quite literally. And your advice is stay curious, keep an open mind. This is a little young energy. Truth seeking, can be using social media. This one is looking back at the spread. So I see that justice stands on the truth. So they both have the truth in common. So I'm getting a lot of messages today about seeing the truth. Like you need the sword is really important this month for fixed signs. Okay, but this is, let's do you, Aquarius. Okay. Oh, before I move on and clarify, although I'm dying to clarify, let's see what we have on the bottom. The King of Pentacles. This is the Earth King. He's beautiful in this deck, isn't he? He's coming through for me as a supportive energy, because this divine presence it's extreme, right? It's rigorous. It's a little bit, it's electric, but it's also, this is restful and loving. So I feel like you actually need this really loving, supportive, divine, masculine, beautiful, you can do it, honey, kind of energy with you right now on this. What looks like, you're an air sign, so it's like all of this quick and ecstatic and electric and brilliant energy. It's just like you're bursting with light, right? Bursting with it. There's a lot of that here. So there's also a grounding presence with you, which I think is really wonderful. Carrying on. All right, now we will clarify. First, we're going to clarify where you are at right now. This Ace of Wands, you're just beginning. It's like a new idea that you are excited by, inspired by. It's an inspiration. And you're just beginning to exert your will in that direction. Like that little spider that climbed up that little stick to get closer to the moon. I think she aspires to capture the moon as she has this she's caught a light bug, but now she's aspiring to capture the moon. That's great. Yeah, you're definitely doing some really dynamic stuff here, Aquarius. Gives me chills. Another spider, the wheel. This is divine fortune turning in your favor. You can see this little spider also aspiring to capture the stars. It's so much like this. It's a different card, but it has a similar feel, doesn't it? An aspiration, the wheel. So you have an aspiration that's come into you, but this card says it's turning in your favor. This This, whatever this is, you are going to be the little spider that wove the net that captured the stars in it. That's very Aquarius, isn't it? All right. Six of Pentacles. This is a card of generosity, receiving, giving in the 3D realm. It's a card I struggle with as a politically because it feels very different from this energy. It comes through to me as like being taken from today. I actually usually have a problem with hierarchical giving, like giving to people with less. I feel that we should all have the same amount. We should have justice. There shouldn't be a need for GoFundMe and charitable giving. But here what I actually see is that you are someone that has a lot to offer and that you're being taken from. And you're feeling that right now, even though you're kind of, yeah. And it hurts. 10 of Swords. It's a betrayal. It's the end. It's, the swords are your mind. It's your sign, air. Grief, the end. It's usually, there's also like a new day here, so you can see the light here rising, the sun rising behind her, but she hasn't turned to see. She's in grief. You know, she's weeping into her hands. And this is like the ending, whatever she lost. She's grieving it. Yeah, you've had, even though the wheel means fortune is turning in your favor, what it's feeling like right now is that you've been taken from and you've suffered a painful loss. But the cards say what's actually happening is that things are turning in your favor and your power is increasing. Your goals and your dreams are actually closer, like the stars are closer, the moon. You're going to catch this big, more important big thing in your web. But you've lost something and you're fully conscious of that and in pain from that. And this may be where your inclination towards justice comes from, because I feel like there's a sense of victimhood here, which is not, you know, it's just a feeling, right? It's just a frame of mind. It's one of the ways that we can bargain with grief is feeling pissed off like a victim, or bargaining from a place of weakness against all hope. So it's just okay, whatever you're feeling, but it is, your mind can hurt you a lot because you get stuck in concepts and righteousness, and then you don't get to finish, to complete this 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is an end. And once you've felt it and worked through it in your mind, and you know, this is a fixed sign day, and on the fixed sign day we think about how long it takes fixed signs to change their mind, to quit obsessing, to move forward to the new day. Other signs, mutable signs and cardinal signs, they do this a lot more gracefully, and sometimes they can help us fixed signs feel that push forward. We do see you rising from this darkness here in this reading, so let's keep looking at that. So the divine presence in your life is justice. You can feel this. It's electric around you. More sense of justice in relationship, 2 of Cups. Two of Cups is very much about balance, justice. It's quite, I think of it as the opposite of the 6 of Pentacles, right? So if this is what you deserve this, you got this, you got taken from, it broke your heart. You seek justice. It could be in the very personal realm of relationship. It can be in a much larger sense. 2 of Cups can be red, and I see this rainbow here. It actually is coming in not as a rainbow, it's just a shape. It's coming in actually as a curved blade. of truth here, like a scythe. Queen of Swords. This is air, clarity. And know when you have clarity, cutting out the bastard that hurt you. She is, wow, look at her face. It isn't an easy truth to carry. And like to use that sword is hard. I've never seen that in her. She's often presented as such a cold queen. And you're an air sign, and I know so many Aquarians, you're not cold. You're so warm. You're humanitarians. And air is associated with blood and the humor of the sanguine. So I'm always bucking this idea of the air sword people being cold and like intellect being cold. I feel like this is anti-intellectualism. You know, like understanding the truth and learning it. I feel it in my heart. And I feel like that is normal. I feel like when you see what is, it can hurt. It can be really painful. It's not heartwarming at all. It's like, yeah, it's moving. It'll move me to tears sometimes. And I really see that in this Queen of Swords. Your heart, Aquarius. It's painful to live in this truth. Three of Cups. Friendship, community, also a card of reconciliation. Well, I feel really clearly, and I'm going to just say immediately, like, you are wishing for this Two of Cups. Like, it's almost like whatever you lost, you're wishing for it back. You're wishing for reconciliation. But you know you're not going to get it. Justice. I don't understand how that is right or just. But it's a harsh God, this justice, this sword, this truth. Let's keep looking. Maybe that will become clearer. You need to, you're in pain. Underneath this amazing nobility and electricity and brilliance, right? Because you've manifested this, like you're ascending and you're rising up to the next level, to the world that you want to see, which is much more possible now that you've suffered this loss. But you're really haunted by that way that we fixed people get haunted and obsessed and unable to let go. Yeah, I saw this and I didn't say anything, but see how this sword is tied up by this red? This is what we're seeing in the cards. This thing that ties up the truth and this ascension that is time for you to ascend, that this justice is bringing you up out of this, but you're still kind of tied to it by your fixedness, the web. It's like, yes, you wove a web to capture the stars, but you're also you're caught in a web as well here. But the tarot wants you to know there's some kind of action or communication, and it seems like it's coming down from above where you're supposed to ascend up. There's a message or some kind of action coming from there to you. Let's find out more about that. That's interesting. Okay. The Emperor. Certainty. Alpha, super divine masculine, decisiveness, leadership. His arms are crossed. Let's keep looking here. Five of Cups. This is your looking at your losses. Here's the better thing, the Two of Cups that you want, right? This is your Two of Cups right there. It's right behind you. Just you got to look there. You're looking back at your pain, at your loss. like this Emperor is related to that. There's the Three of Wands that we have here. This is a much more austere journey, isn't it? Through the darkness, you're traveling towards the unknown. It looks like the edge of the world. It is this that you're traveling towards, ascension. This kind of image of the bird, I feel mirrored in this sky here. It's a promise, like it can feel heavy, like emotionally, because you're on the water. And like it's gonna take you down. You're gonna go down, but instead you're actually gonna go up here into the stars, right? This is what you're capturing. This is a wheel turning in your favor. But yeah, there's a real pull downward, and this is who pulls you downward. This is this stubborn jerk, the Emperor. I'm not changing. That's not you. That can sometimes come in as you being the leader in your life. It did in the Scorpio message I just did. But here it is, the one you need to move away from. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be like an institution. It's like so if you think about this reading as being about changing the world, which I think Aquarius readings are often about changing the world, and this electric transformation in the direction of justice, which you have envisioned, which we have envisioned. It does mean cutting away things that we also love, that we may feel nostalgia for. And I feel that tie to the old that is holding you back from this new vision. It brings you down when you're meant to go up. So your eye on the horizon here in the Three of Wands, you know, it's like the edge. But look up. Look up. You're supposed to go up, okay? All right, your advice. Little Page of Swords. Open mind, curiosity. Chatter, could be chatty. Could be a young person around you. Let's see. What is this advice in the Page of Swords? Another young one, Page of Cups. Young, open heart. Temperance. Being patient, taking time, letting yourself be divinely supported, alchemizing. You know, these are your feelings. You're pouring them back and forth and back and forth. This card reminds me of your card, the Star, which is another person standing one foot on land and one foot on the water, pouring out the emotions in both places. This one is conserving, keeping them until they mix correctly. So it looks to me like let me pull one more card. Seven of Cups. Choices, projections, illusions. It's a place of indecision, but here in this version, there's all this darkness, but there's the obvious choice, the true Ace of Cups, the new beginning, and all of these false choices that may be distracting. So very much, again, like, rise up out of the darkness. Go with your heart. Go towards this divine offering. Very much like this bat, like fly, my friend, towards justice. Justice is with you here. Legally, could be legal. Yeah, in these readings that I get that are about the transformation that the world needs, it's always the young ones are here always. They're the ones that have the wisdom. They're the ones that must live with what we leave when we pass on from this place to the next place, and which is judgment is not about death or dying, but it is about moving on. So you're told here to consider the young ones. Could be your young one. They have a sweet heart. They have a sharp mind. And as you measure and wait it's okay to take time on this. Temperance says it's okay that you're still tied up in the past and having trouble releasing it so that you can rise to the next place in your life. It's right up there. It's lighting up the darkness, the obvious choice. But be careful, because there's somebody else outside of you, the younger ones, who whose little beautiful little hearts are you must care for them. And like, so we can see that there's the cup and there's the cup. So I feel like this is the direction that you turn towards, whether it's a very personal young person or it's the larger collective of Gen Z, all the kids, that this is their planet here. So there's and the planet is supporting you here, grounding you, reminding you of what matters. On the bottom of this deck, there it is. Should you have had any doubt, there's your Ace of Cups. And that's it. Go with your heart. Trust that you are divinely supported, that divine love is with you, cosmic love, however you think of it. It's very much that your web has been cast to capture the heavens, the moon, what you have aspired to. You are ascending in that way. But remember, your heart, divine love, grounds you, guides you. It's the direction to turn. And it has to do with, you need to bring that love with you because of the young ones that are who will benefit from your vision in some way, I think. But they can also be harmed if you don't consider them. So I think you need to let go for their sake in some way. But I might be wrong, because like, you are considering them as you delay temperance, moving forward on your journey. So that's really cool, Aquarius, and it doesn't look easy. There's pain here. 10 of Swords, 5 of Cups, lots of beautiful transformative possibilities if you move towards justice with your heart. Okay? All right. Well, I hope this reading helps you, and have a beautiful day.